Hello, students. In today's lecture, we'll be learning a new concept of corporate governance. Now, what is corporate governance? The concept of corporate governance relates to the governance of joint stock companies. As a business organization, joint stock companies came into existence in 16th century and acquired its current status or characteristics in 19th century. In India, the Companies Act 1956 gave the legal status to them and had set certain rules and regulations for their formation, functioning, and closure. In United States of America, a public limited company is called as a corporation, and therefore the term corporate governance was introduced. Now, what is the history behind corporate governance, or why this concept has become worldwide popular and necessary for all the business organization? Okay, now in 2000, in year 2000, many of the American based companies were found in some financial crisis. They're facing some financial crisis, and because of this, so many s- scandals were disclosed during that period of time, and many of the companies had to be closed down during that period of time, which was a big shock for the American industry, industrial sector rather, we can say. And therefore people started talking about companies financial condition, audit, the business transactions done in the organization, then the transparency of those transactions, then the eligibility of board of directors, how the businesses are run, what kind of decisions are taken, how the shareholders, who are the real owners, they are real owners, they are kept out of everything, isn't it? So people, I mean, those board of directors, those are the representatives of shareholders, right? So how, what kind of business they transact, a certain kind of transparency has to be maintained, and disclosure of business transactions should be done to the society and to the stakeholders. These were the things which came up during the time of those financial crisis faced in USA, and therefore the concept of corporate governance, or you can call it as standards of corporate governance, came about. Now, what is corporate governance? Corporate governance means running your business more efficiently and effectively, and creating the trust among your investors, creditors, in the society, in such a way that you are running your business in a very efficient manner. You have to create that impression in the market. Impression means it is not a fake impression. You have to carry out your business in a very transparent and efficient manner, in such a way that these people, investors, or I told about a stakeholder is a word, it is much it is having a much wider scope than shareholders, right? So stakeholders means all those claimants, those who are related to organization. So these people should have a trust in the business organization, and they should be convinced that the organization work is being going on, or your business is being run smoothly by the board of directors, and they are in the right hands, right decisions are taken in this organization, nothing illegal, nothing immoral is going on, unethical is going on in this organization. Okay, so you are carrying out your business in a very efficient and a transparent manner. These this is called as corporate governance in simple language. Okay, so in this topic what we are going to learn is that who which people are responsible for the good corporate governance. That means what would be the role of board of directors, what would be the role of auditors, and what would be the role of shareholders to have a good corporate governance. Okay, so this is kind of this is the way how the concept got developed. And as I said, in 2000, whatever the US based companies faced financial crisis, on basis of that this concept got it started developing during that period of time. Another significant event which took place in the world economy was in 2008. Again in US also, many of the companies were declared bankrupt, and therefore that was corporate governance became the need of whole of the entire US economy. And not only US, other countries also thought that this may happen with our companies also one or the other day, so we should also go for this standards of corporate governance, how to maintain those standards, and who will be responsible for good corporate governance. So that became the need of the hour, we can call it as. So that way the concept got developed. Then the complexity in company management has been so very high, it has become so very complicated, that so many problems have come up, related to that has been arised. And to control and coordinate, you require a good efficient management in your organization. Okay, so as I said, in this topic we'll be learning about what is the role of shareholders, board of directors, and auditors. So these are the three important constituents of company, and they are linked together by a system of rules and are responsible element of company's corporate governance. Okay, so this is the background of how the concept has been developed. Another thing is that joint stock company, you have learnt about this concept. What is joint stock company? It's a typical business organization where there is separation between ownership and management of the company. As I'm saying, that shareholders are the real owners of the company, the board of directors are the representatives of the shareholders, and these shareholders contribute to the capital of the company by purchasing its shares. Okay, and their liability is in respect of the acts of the company corporation is limited only to their shareholding. Okay, so the directors do not participate in day-to-day management of company, for which they appoint the managers. So the board may appoint a managing director, full-time MD, and a whole-time director to look after the regular company management and administration. I'm just giving you a brief idea about how the corporate management is, how is the structure. You all are knowing it, we have learnt it, but still, how joint stock companies carry out their business, who are the real owners, and who actually conduct the business. So the actual functioning and management of company is taken care by the professional managers who are appointed by the managing director or the chairman and approved by the board of directors. So these professional managers actually run the business, and in actual practice these managers run the corporation, make most of the business decisions. The managers are the employees of the company, but their control on the functions and operations of the company is greater than the shareholders, who are the real owners of the company. So we, in corporate management, there are three levels, three managerial levels, right? Top management level, which consists of chairman, board of directors, managing directors, CEO, etc. And the middle management level, that is the second level of management, which includes managers, heads of different functional departments, senior supervisors, section in charge, etc. And at the lower level managerial management, it includes foremen, first time supervisors, workers, etc. Rest of the people are included in lower level management. So the structure of corporate management is such that the shareholders vote in their general meeting, elect the directors who constitute the board of directors, and out of board of directors they elect one of the director as the chairman. The shareholders and the directors have voting rights in according to their shareholding proportion. Naturally, the person having maximum shareholding has a good or a better chance to become the director and the chairman of the company. Then the chairman and BODs set out certain guidelines and policies, and then they make the decisions within that policy framework. Then board of directors and managers and shareholders are three important part of company. They should be linked together by a system of rules. Okay, so these are the responsible people or element of corporate companies governance. Okay, then you know corporate governance is related to quality of functioning of company. That means your company must have a good qualitative efficient management, right? So a company should function in such a way, in such that economic, social, individual, and also community goals should be accomplished. You should be able to achieve the the goals of economic, social, individual, and also community goals. It should use all the resources efficiently with optimum use of resources for the benefit of its all the stakeholders. Then not only the company's management should be efficient, but it should be transparent as well. All the stakeholders must be treated equally and fairly. And you know uh, the corporate governance is concerned with balancing the economic and social as well as individual and community goals. Okay, so nobody should be allowed to derive benefits at the cost of innocence of others, right? So corporate governance speaks about accountability. What is accountability? Accountability means you are answerable to someone. So the management has to always keep into mind that you are answerable to stakeholders, you are answerable to shareholders, you are answerable to society, isn't it? So if anything goes wrong, unethical, immoral is going happening in the organization, then you'll be held responsible for that. So this kind of thought or this kind of awareness has to be in the minds of your directors or in the minds of management as a whole. All the three levels of management, they should keep that in mind. So efficiency, transparency, and accountability are the three important terms which form the conceptual foundation of corporate governance. Okay, so in short, you can say that corporations should function efficiently, they should maintain transparency in all their activities, and they should never forget the principle of accountability, which should be acutely and minutely observed in all its dealings, functions, and transactions. Okay, now we are going to see the definition. The first definition is given by HR Machiraju. Corporate governance comprises of systems and processes which ensures the efficient functioning of company in a transparent manner for the benefit of its stakeholders. That means corporate governance means it is your obligation of the organization to see to it that your organization is functioning very efficiently, effectively. You are utilizing all the resources in a very optimum manner, and you're doing all your activities in a transparent manner. And why you're doing this? Because you want to achieve the economic, social, community goals, and you want to see to it that your stakeholders are benefited by the organization's behavior, right? So this is what corporate CG is. And then the second one, definition given by Confederation of Indian Industries, is that corporate governance involves a commitment of company. Okay, this is the commitment. Once you say that we are having a good corporate governance, it is a commitment of the organization to run its business in a legal, ethical, and transparent manner. A dedication that must come from very top and permit throughout the organization. So, what does it expect? A dedication that must come from top level. That means your top management has to be very serious about it. They should see to it that the business is run efficiently, transparently, in a very good manner, so that all the stakeholders are benefited through it and all the goals are also achieved. So this is what CG is. Hope so this concept has been clear. Okay, now moving towards the features of corporate governance. First one is corporate governance is a method used to have better control on the organization. Of course, it is having a good, better control because all the time you are being reminded by your board of directors or your management that you are accountable to your stakeholders, right? Then second is role of board of directors and their responsibilities of utmost importance in CG. Of course, I told you that board of directors, shareholders, auditors, they play a very important role in maintaining good CG. Then CG believes in protecting rights of shareholders. Of course, as shareholders are the real owners of the business, their rights have to be protected. They should be given the first priority in the organization. Then second, next one is CG expects to protect the rights of all the stakeholders, which include supplies, customers, employees, society, government. Okay, so there are two concepts. Shareholders are different, and stakeholders is a wider concept. I told you earlier also. So shareholders are the real owners, that agreed. But who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders means all those claimants who are having interest in the organization. Who are those people? Your supplies, your customers, your employees, society, government, those who are looking at you with certain kind of expectation, right? So you have to protect the rights of all these stakeholders. Next is ethical behavior is the foundation of corporate governance, where all elements of organization are expected to behave ethically. Of course, your top management has to take it seriously first of all, and you have to see to it that no unlawful and unethical behavior is being undertaken in the organization. All the transactions are being disclosed in a very transparent manner to all the stakeholders, right? So that way you have to maintain the transparency, and ethical behavior has to be strictly maintained. Next is corporate governance expects to maintain transparency in all the transactions and decisions. So whatever decisions you are taking, maybe they're minor, major, they are going to affect people or no, but you have, it's your duty to tell the society, it's your duty to make it clear to shareholders and the stakeholders that we are running the business very efficiently, and these are the decisions taken by us. So transparency has to be maintained in whatever work you are doing. Okay, so even if a decision is very minor, it has to be put on the paper, it has to be transparently shown to the stakeholders, so that they'll get that trust, they'll get convinced that everything is going very well in the organization. Next is corporate governance believes in factual and full disclosure of information. Of course, unless and until you tell people about the facts and disclose whole of your information, financial and other, everything, right? So role of auditor plays very important role in CG. So it believes in facts. Next is, it is expected that the organization should strictly follow all the rules and regulations and laws of the country in which it is doing its business. Now it's implied. Of course, you have to make people, or you have to create that image in the minds of investors. Unless and until your investors trust you, they won't invest you on business, isn't it? And if you want to gain that trust from your investors, what you have to do is that you should conduct your business lawfully, ethically, morally, and important thing is that whatever laws are passed related to your business, they should be strictly followed. Okay, in what whichever country you are doing the business, whichever laws are related to your business, you have to strictly follow them. Now we are going to see what is the role of board of directors. Okay, now board of directors, as I said, they're the representatives of shareholders. Their main function is to monitor the performance of manager and executive, and to see to it that the return of shareholders are maximized and it is increased day by day. Then Companies Act has given them certain extensive powers to board, and it presumes that it is the ultimate governing body of the company. So that's the top management, they comprise of the top management. So board of directors have control on the corporation. The board have right structure, right processes. It should have right people. That means you must have good competent people on the board, then only the objective and independent decisions can be made. So you can say that board of director is at the center of corporate governance system. It has direct control on management of the company, it is accountable to shareholders, and the board can function very effectively if directors act in very diligently and independent of management. Okay, so what are the functions undertaken by board that we are going to see? The first one is to control and monitor performance of manager. Of course, they have to keep a watch on or evaluate the performance of the managers, and time to time they have to take a feedback from these managers to see to it that whatever goals and objectives, targets were being set for the organization, they whether they have been achieved or no, what is its present status. So you have to monitor the performance of manager. Then you have to monitor the managerial competence. That means you have to see to it that whether your management is quite competent to carry out the day to day work smoothly, whether the work is being undertaken or not. Second, next one is to approve the allocation of resources, see to it that the resources are allocated properly and they are utilized at their fullest. Next one is to decide the issues related to business policy and facilitate the development of the company. So the board has to decide the policies of the business, strategies of the business, in which direction the business has to be taken, how to go for the development of the business, how to day by day increase the customer base, increase the investment in the company, expand the business. So you have to think about the development of the company, especially how you are going to increase the profit of the company. That way you'll have to take policy decisions regarding that. Next is to prepare, review, and guide the corporate strategy and implement and monitor it. Okay, so not only you will have to, BODs don't have to just prepare the policies, but they have to take a review that whether these policy has been properly implemented. Whenever your managers, professional managers require certain kind of guidance, you should be there to guide them, so to see to it that whether they are on the right path. Okay, so and you have to monitor their performance and see to it that they have been properly implemented, strictly implemented as per your expectation. Next is to guide the risk policy, business plan, and annual budget and review the same from time to time. What would be your risk policy? You'll have to manage your risk management, which we call. You have to prepare a business plan. An annual budget has to be prepared, where every element has to be given properly. The money has to be allocated. Then and you have to keep on reviewing, because not only you will have to plan the things, but you'll have to see to it that whether the things are going as per the plan. That is reviewing. Okay, then next is to set the performance objectives and monitor the corporate performance. Of course, what are the performance objectives, which objectives have been set, and whether these objectives are achieved in specific period of time. You have to see to it that. Next is to decide the issues relating to major capital expenditure, diversification, acquisition, merger, and amalgamations. That means these are the major decisions taken by board of directors. So you have to look into the matter. What is the major capital expenditure which you will have to do? How you are going to, if you want to acquire acquisition, you want to merge into another company, if you want to go for amalgamation, if you want to acquire another company, if you want to go for a takeover, these are the major issues which are to be handled by BODs only. So you have to take care about whatever decisions you are taking regarding all these issues. Next is to ensure integrity of accounting and financial system of corporation and transparency in the process of communication and disclosure. So you have to see to it that auditors are properly appointed, whether they are conducting the audit in a proper manner, whether the financial system is run in the organization in a very transparent manner. No frauds are taking place, no errors are yeah, auditor is unable, clearly you are undertaking your auditing. Financial matters are very clear without any queries, or no frauds and errors are detected in those things while auditing. That also care you'll have to take. And next one is to monitor and sustain the effectiveness of good governance practices. Okay, so what are all things which are required for good governance practices? That you will have to monitor and sustain it continuously. You'll have to maintain that, because you want good governance practices. Okay, so these we are looking at the functions. What are these people, what is the board of directors, what are going they are supposed to do actually? Okay, then the next is to guide the risk policy, business plan, and annual budget and review the same. The set the performance objective. Okay, so that we saw. Okay, so with this we end today's with today's lecture, and then we'll in next lecture we'll continue with the role of board of directors in corporate governance. Okay, thank you.